Well, this is Stephen J. Holiday, founder and presenter of IDM Ministries and Associations, where every day is a little more like heaven than the day before. Hey, so I was swimming laps today at the pool, and I love swimming. I think I'm half goldfish or something. But as I was swimming, I happened to look up at the top of the pool where the water reflects, and in the early morning, all the light is coming in through the water, and then the water bounces off the surrounding of the bottom of the pool, and then bounces back up to the surface of the water. But the surface of the water is at the top of at the top of the pool. The surface of the water is reflecting back all of the surroundings that are underwater. In other words, if you really looked and concentrated and tried, you could probably see through the water, but most of what you can see is what's reflected back from the surface of the water. And this pool where I swim, it's only like 3.5 feet deep. It's just meant for lap swimming. It's not meant for going real deep or diving or anything. So I was only a foot and a half below the surface, but I was changing directions as I was swimming, and so I go deeper, and then I turn around and go back, so I just happened to glance up at the surface of the water above my head. And all I could see was the bounce back, or the reflection off the surface of the water back towards me. In fact, I think if I had looked directly above me, I'd probably see just my own reflection, because all the light is bouncing back off the surface back towards the viewer. Okay, so I started thinking about imagine that I was swimming and I was thinking, I really want to go higher. And so I go from 2 feet deep, or 2 feet away from the surface of the water, to a foot deep, or a foot away from the surface of the water. And I feel like I'm getting closer and closer to the surface. Okay, and then let's say a little bit later, I go back down to my comfortable depth, just a foot or two above the bottom of the pool, the floor of the pool, and then the good foot and a half, 2 feet farther away from the surface. And I think I'm gonna go really high this time. And so I swim closer and closer to the surface of the pool, and I get within 6 inches of the surface of the water. But I don't actually break the surface of the water. And you ever see somebody like a diver, not a scuba diver, but maybe a snorkeling? They barely under the water, and that snorkel reaches up, 6-8 inches, just far enough to break the surface of the water and take in a breath. But imagine you were to stop swimming and just stand up, assuming you're taller than 3.5 feet. You would get up out of the water, and you'd take a deep breath, and you'd realize I was placed under the water, but when I come up for air, this is where I was always meant to be, right? And it reminded me of my journey, and it's like you get on a rhythm, you get on a plane, you get on a plan, you feel like you're really going in a good way, whatever that direction is for you. For me, a lot of times it'll be, I'm gonna skip a series of meals so that I can really get in touch with the Lord. Or maybe for someone else, it's I'm gonna go for a fitness journey, where I'm gonna do a certain amount of physical effort for a certain amount of time, hoping to get into a thing, into a rhythm, or whatever you want to call it. And we even have expressions where athletes and joggers and trainers and different things will actually talk about breaking through a wall or getting to that next level, or however the terminology, comes together for what they put out. And that's how it feels, and that's how it feels when you're looking up and you see the threshold between heaven and earth, and you're like, I'm getting higher. I feel like I'm going deeper. I feel like I'm getting better into the place that I want to be. I'm doing so good. And then something will hit us from the side, and we lose that momentum and that altitude, right? And we fall farther from the surface of the water. And the problem is, we're looking at everything on the surface as being everything we can see, right? Because the surface is bouncing back right at us, everything we can see. And that's all we can see. But just like that swimmer who's swimming laps and can only see the surface, if you step up and break the plane, it's never the same. If you get through it, it's never the same. And that's where I want to be. I want to break the plane. I want to break through the water. I want to break through and take a deep breath. But the problem is, we'll never see excuse me, we'll never see how close we are or how close we were until we actually break through the water. And so, if you're one like me who's been struggling and pushing and trying and straining and trying to get through to the next level, I just invite you to take that courage, that just because you can't see anything around you that shows you that you're getting close to breakthrough, it doesn't mean that you aren't really close to stepping through that threshold, stepping through, puncturing that surface. I hope that imagery makes sense to you, because it sure shook me. So let me just pray for you at home or wherever you're logging in on this. I appreciate you joining, and if this makes sense to you, by all means, put something in the comments or send us a text or a chat, comment in a Facebook post, however you'd like to do that. Love to hear that you're tracking with what's going on. But Lord, I just thank you for whoever's on the other end of this download, Lord. I thank you that they're putting everything they can into going higher. And Lord, even when they're at a place where they say, I quit, I'm done, and they lose some altitude, they lose some traction, they lose some momentum. Excuse me. You're still with them, Lord. And you're still with them. They want to go higher. They want to go higher. And you're ready to bring them to that higher place. So Lord, I pray that people would feel an extra infusion of courage, an extra infusion of motivation to hold out for what it is that they're holding out for, whatever it is. The breakthrough is coming. The breakthrough is coming. And I don't know if this makes sense to you, but it does to me. I know I've, from time to time, been in a place where someone's trying to birth something new, and literally and spiritually and metaphorically. And they've been pushing to where they just feel like they're going to despair. Just throw it in, right? And yet it breaks through. And I just think someone out there needs to hear, it is breaking through. You are going to break through. It is going to make it. I think that's a good word. Sometimes I encourage myself, breakthrough is coming, coming, coming. You might even need to just repeat that to yourself and encourage your own heart. The breakthrough is coming. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. Amen. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining in. Like I said, feel free to contact us. We love to hear from people when life is a struggle and something that comes along that brings joy to your heart or brings an uplift. Please share that. Let us know. If you have questions or thoughts, let us know on that too. All right, that's it for me, guys. Have a great rest of the day. Take care. Bye-bye.